This conference will now be recorded.
So this was the exercise I given last week in array, right? So array is a collection of similar elements, and we also see an example of displaying the array value in the Visualforce page. Am I right? So we have so you've seen two examples. One is array of string, where we declare the array variable as a getSet variable and initialize with some value. Then how we are going to refer this a collection of elements? We are going to use looping component. We are going to use looping component in Visualforce. It can be a data list, data table, page block table, or repeat. So here we are referring the array name. So array name should be a getSet variable in your Apex side. When the page is loaded, the first method going to execute in your controller is going to be a constructor. So we initialize the array in the constructor. So when the page is loaded, we get the list of student names in the form of bulleted items, right? Similarly, we have seen another example where array of 3 account records we created. So basically the array is a account type. So this array is going to have an account record as element. So we create account records before we initialize the element in this array. So this is a variable we are going to display in the Visualforce page by using looping component. So we use page block table, and another block we used data table. When you use page block table and column as a child to page block table, the label of the field will be displayed automatically, right? And when you use data table, the label will not get displayed. So we use header value. People able to follow this? Then I give an exercise, declare the array of opportunity records with the data below, right? Opportunity. Okay. So declare the array of opportunity records with the delay value, right? So what is the, how will you declare this? List of, sorry, opportunity. Array of opportunity. How many opportunities? 5 opportunities. Either you go with this format, or else first create the opportunity record, then initialize the array with the opportunity record, right? So let's create the opportunity one by one. 1 minute, please.
This conference will now be recorded.
So listen here. I'm going to give the value for the date field, right? So close date is a date field. Suppose I'm going to value the date of join. Date of join as my requirement is to give the date of join as 2019 as 11:30. So I'm going to use a date class. Every primitive type is a kind of class in your Salesforce platform. So class name dot, there is a method in your class, date class, called new instance. It's going to accept three parameters. One is the first parameter is a year, and we pass month and date. So the same method we are going to use to value the close date. We'll follow this. Similarly, opportunity 2, name of the opportunity, stage name,
Sir, new instance, what it will do, sir? Actually,
new instance is a static method belongs to this class. Class, every primitive type is a class, inbuilt class, right? So we also seen a string class, converting a integer to number, number to integer, right? I shown one instance. So date is a primitive type class. This is a static method of the class. So we pass argument, then it will convert this data into date format. So you can store it into a date variable. You cannot store the date value as a form of string. You have to use a date method to provide a value for your date variable. You have to use a date method. So this is one of the date method we'll use to assign a value in the format of date. So now the DOG is a format of a variable of date format, date type. Okay. Close date. We are going to give the current date, right? So whenever this code runs, that particular date should be taken. What is the current date? That date should be taken. We have a system class. The system has a function called today. So system is a predefined class where we have a debug function, system.debug, right? So there also we have a function called, there we have function called today. So today will return the current date. So that's I'm going to store into close date variable. So what is close date? System dot today. And then last one, opportunity 5, and then your stage is quote, and amount is 30,000, and date is system dot today, current date plus 30 days. You can do that. You can do like this. See, if anywhere you would like uh, to execute this date function and learn how it works, what you will do? Go to anonymous window. New instance will pass year, month, date. System dot today. So that this is a value we got. That's how we set current date plus 30 days. Pardon me? So I'll upload this example for your reference. Okay, right. So what is the next exercise in this array? We need to display the opportunity record one by one in the log. Right. So before you have do this, we need to declare the array and initialize that array with this opportunity record. So opportunity, I will declare array of opportunity, open and close bracket. Then initialize with the opportunity. So how do you display this in the form of array? We're going to use traditional for loop. So array start from 0 and till to the last element of the array. We are going to iterate this. How will you find out the size of the array? Using size method. Increment the counter. We are going to display the opportunity record. How will you get every element one by one? By going with the square bracket format. I pass I here. So in the first iteration, it pass 0. I'll get the first record get display, right? So how to get the opportunity, display the opportunity name instead of the whole record? I need opportunity name alone needs to be displayed in the log. So this going to return one opportunity record. From one opportunity record, from the opportunity record, I read only name. So dot notation name. So this is going to display the name every iteration. Am I right? So what is my next one? Display the opportunity name only if they are closed won or closed lost. So I'm going to display the name based on a condition. If opportunities stage name double equal closed one OR function, right? Pipe symbol. Again, we're going to repeat this. There are two conditions, and this one for a last. So closed one or closed last, then display the opportunity. Got me? So if you have only one statement, you need not use the open and close braces, but it's not mandatory. But optionally, if you want, you can use that open and close braces. Okay. So what is my next? Sum of the opportunities. Sum up all the amount of the opportunity. So here I need a amount value, not the name, amount. So instead of amount, I'm going to sum up this, right? So every time I need to sum up, so we'll declare one external local variable. So total equal to total plus see only name only. Yes, you're right. Name, exactly. Okay. So then we will finally display the output outside the array. Okay. Right. Add one more exercise. So take this in exercise, display the in VF page. Okay. So what are you going to have? All this set of codes, you are going to have it in your constructor, and declare these opportunities as a get set variable in your Apex class. Then use any of the component data table or page break table and display the opportunity value. When you use opportunity record, when you use data table, then you can apply your own custom look and feel by using inbuilt CSS attributes, cell padding, rules, border, cell spacing, right? And it's going to display a standard look and feel. Okay, when you use column component, you will get the label of the field of the object automatically. So when you use data table, you will use a header value. You can use header value or facet to display your own label for the field. Fine. So now we are going to see another data type in the Apex called collection. Okay, collection is also a group of similar elements like your array. How you are going to store, use array is used to store a group of similar elements, a group of integers, group of string, group of S objects record. It means account, contact, or any standard objects. So collection is also a way to store a group of similar elements. Okay, and the collection is of three types: list, set, map. All of these are collections, a collection type. Okay, and your list, and every collection type that you have seen here, list, set, or map, is a kind of predefined class. Every list, every set, every map is a kind of predefined class. So we'll start with list. It's a predefined class. It's an inbuilt class, right? Predefined class means already defined. It's a predefined class. What is the use of this data type? It is used to store collections of, it's used to store a group of ordered elements. A group of ordered elements. When you say ordered elements, it means every element is going to be stored in respective index, and the order of insertion is maintained. The order of insertion is maintained. Suppose I insert a name Ram as a first element, is going to take an index 0, like your array, similar to your array. Okay. So this is second name I am inserting, which takes a position 1 in the memory, the index 1. Is the third name I am going to insert into this list, then it's going to take a position, the index 2. So as you insert the element into the list, the element takes the index sequentially. It means the order of insertion is maintained. The way the order of insertion, the order you insert the element, the same order you can get the element by referring the index. Okay, so far you can compare the list exactly with your array. So it's like your array. Okay, but there are differences we'll discuss. So why we say ordered elements? The order of insertion is maintained. It means the order you insert, the same order you can get the element. How will you get the element ready? You'll just refer the index 2 as you refer in your array. So that's why it's called a order of, group of ordered elements. And it increases its size when new element is added, and decreases its size when any element is removed. So this property is not there in your array, right? Because array is a fixed size element. You give the number of elements to be stored in array, so you cannot store any more elements beyond that, right? When you declare array, you give the size of the array. When you initialize the array with the values, then it defines the size of the array, how many elements you initialized in the array. But in the list, dynamically increases size when you add element, and decreases size when you remove the element. So array is a kind of dynamic, list is a kind of dynamic array. It's a kind of dynamic array, right? It's increased size. So if it's more efficient than your array, right? Because it won't hold the memory without any data into that a collection type, right? So list will increase its size and decrease its size as per the number of elements in the list. Okay, and it can accept duplicate. It's similar to your array only. It can accept duplicate because every element is going to be stored in the form of index. Okay, people got this? So the main difference from your array, the list is increases size and decreases size as per the number of elements in the list. When you remove the space is automatically adjusted, and memory is allocation is reduced. When you add more elements, it will increase the size. So how do you what is the syntax of declaring your list? List keyword, and we'll have a data type here. So what type of data you're going to store in the list, right? What type of data and list name. So this is syntax, right? It's somewhat, right? It's similar to your array, right? So we have in array we have a data type, open and close bracket, and array name. So here, so we need to define what type of element you are going to store into the array, right? Similarly, what type of element you are going to store into list. So that's determined by the data type part. List, open angle bracket, closed angle bracket, list name. People follow this? String. right? Employee names. A list of cities. Salaries. Student numbers, etc. Right? So what is this? List of accounts. List of contact records. As we see in our array. Okay. Now we declare the element. We declare the variable of. So this variable is of list type now. Right? The employee names is basically is a variable which can store more than one string value. Your salaries is a kind of variable which can store more than one decimal values. So collections of similar elements. So list data type, your data type here can be of primitive or reference type, right? Can be of primitive or reference type. So these are primitive type: list of string, list of decimal, list of integer, and list of reference type, list of account, list of contact, list of your custom objects. Got me? So this can be in general we make it as data type can be a primitive or reference type. When you say reference type, it's not only a subject, it can be of user defined type also, right? User defined type means what? Reference type, we already discussed this. Reference type is basically which requires the new keyword to allocate a memory, right? Okay, let's proceed with this. We'll also see other than, right after these primitive type examples, we'll also see reference type as well. So right, so this is a reference type, right? Your list comes under reference type. So we need to allocate a memory for that list. A list is a predefined class, right? I said list is a predefined class. So how will you refer your class? Basically, first you need to allocate a memory for that object. So this is my list, new list of string, like your array. So need to allocate a memory, then we can process this list. So now the list is ready to, now the list is can accept the value. Okay, so now if you declare a list like this, it just is going to refer this, is just going to have a null value. No memory is allocated. Okay, so list is a predefined class. So list needs a memory allocation before you process the list. So this is a format of declaring the array, declaring the list with the memory, with allocating a memory with the keyword new list of string open and close bracket is a constructor, right? It's a constructor, it's a class format name open and close bracket constructor. We'll follow this. List of right? Okay, how we are going to add element to this list? We have a instance methods of class list. So list is a class, and list contains instance methods, right? What are the instance methods? We have a method called add. We'll pass element as an argument to this method. So this is an instance methods. So this is my list. Okay, I'm going to add a element into this list. How we are going to add? So this is a list instance dot. So instance method you will always refer with the instance name. So first create the instance of the class list, then using that instance name add. I'm going to pass a value to this method, I mean parameter to the method. Okay, so what will happen now? A value is added. It means I'm adding some, inserting an element into this list. So how many elements I added? 2 elements I added. So when you display this list, you will find only 2 elements are there in the array. When you declare a list, we don't define the size of the list, right? So where is the size? There is no size element. When you declare array, you'll give the number of elements that array can hold, but here we are not defining any size. So when you add elements, automatically the list will expand. So when you do this, what will happen? The list will allocate a memory for and the first element will be in index 0, the second element will be index 1. So when you add further elements, so what will happen? The element I am adding, whatever element I am adding, that will take a last position. The element will be added at the end. So here element will be added at the end, and which will take the index next to the last index in the list already, index 2. Will follow this? So let's going to display this. Amp names dot add. So as you add element, the element will be added at the end. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm repeating the value, duplicate value. So the whatever element you add, that will be added at the end. The duplicate value will also be acceptable. Accept the array, list or array, both will accept the duplicate values, right? But the difference from here, add is a method name. It's a predefined method in the list. It's a method in the list. It's an instance method, right? What is instance method? You'll have a class. So how do you call instance method, all of you? So this is my class. I have some variable in the class, and I have some method in the class. Right? How it's a template, right? Class is a template. How will you access that variable? I need to create first instance. I have an instance now. I can refer the name and the method. So this variable is called instance variable because every instance you create, I can take a copy of this. I can allocate a memory for this, right? Because this is a memory allocation. This is how you allocate a memory for the object. Object is nothing but your new my class is the syntax to create object, and you take the reference, memory location reference here in this variable. So that's how this instance method. Similarly, a system has defined a class called list, and there they defined the methods called add. We will follow this, and the method requires an argument as an element. Okay, so it depends upon what type of list you are going to declare, that type of value you can pass here. If you declare a list of string, then you're going to pass a string as a value to the method. So we need to declare a list to call this, right? So this is not a complete syntax. This is a predefined class, just an idea I'm giving to you. So add is a predefined instance method. So we declare a list, then referring the add method, we are adding element to the list. We'll follow this. So I can also add a duplicate value. Okay. So this is how we got the output. Right, now I would like to add I like to remove the remove the element. So when you say remove the element, you will only remove based on index. So if you pass index here, then respective element will be removed from the list. Got me? So the remove method is to remove the element based on index. So what is the use of add method? So this method adds an element which is passed as an argument. This will add as element to the list which is passed as an argument. So here it removes the element as per the given index. Okay, suppose I like to remove the name Kiran. I like to remove the name Kiran. So Kiran is in index 1. So what I'm going to do? Emp names dot remove 1. Now if you display the list, so I'm going to, so before removal and after removal. Whose name? Kiran. The element in the index 1. Right. So now we got Ranjit, Siva, and Kiran. So Kiran is the duplicated. So last element in the second element Kiran was removed. If you like to remove, so now the element is removed, and what happens here? The size is automatically reduced. Earlier it was 4 elements, now it is 3 elements. Okay. In the case of your array, you will see the null value, right? Even though the element is not there, the memory is allocated. But now the memory is removed, right? Whatever the unused memory is removed. Unused memory is removed. The memory is allocated in the for the list only for the a number of elements only for the elements we have, right? Not for the, we don't define the size actually. So it's automatically reduced, automatically increase the size as you add, as you remove the element. You got this? So what is this method? To get the element. So it retrieves the element as per the index given. It retrieves the element. Okay. So which element you need? You always refer to the index. The list will work with the index. The list element are indexed. So the order of insertion is maintained. Whenever you add element, the element will be added at the end. So I need get the, okay, let's declare, okay, let's work with the same list only. So I need a value from get the name from the index 2, from the index 2 get the name. So what we will do, and names dot get index 2. So what is going to return? Is going to return the element, right? I can store like this. I can store like this. The method is going to return something. The method retrieves element. The method returns element as per the specified index. So we can store the element into another variable string. Why you are storing it to string? Because every element in the list is going to be of string. It's going to return a value. The value is of string type only. So I can store it into string variable. Name. I'm going to display the name. So from the index 2, 0, 1, 2, we have Kiran. We have got Kiran, right? People got this? So what is the output you will get? Element from index 2, Kiran will appear, right? Right. Now, I would like to add element not at the end. I would like to add element in respect to index. Right. The method is add method, but this method is going to have a 2 argument. It's like a method overloading, right? So which is already there in the class, the predefined method. So these are predefined methods: add, remove, get. So we have another method called add, which requires 2 argument, index and element. So what this method will do, it adds element in specified at specified index. Okay, so without the index, if you just pass element, what happens? The element adds at the end. Whatever element you add at the end. But now I'm going to insert element into specific index. Okay, we'll follow this. Let's go with a different example. List of string cities, new stuff. So we are going to add cities.add. So this add method I'm using. It's not adding with respect to index, without index, right? It's just add method. Okay. Now I like to add. My requirement is add the city Delhi next to Chennai. Okay, next to Chennai. So we know Chennai is at the position index 1, and now the Delhi is going to take an index 2. So we're going to add an index Delhi at the index 2. We are going to add the element city Delhi at the index 2 because Chennai is at the index 1. So we are going to do cities. Which index you are going to insert the element, and then the string value. Got me? So element will be added at the respective index. So we have value like this. Which is already there in the list, and everything is take a position index 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's added at the index 2. Then what will happen? Now the list will be expanded. Now the index 2 is allocated for the element, new element, and the list is now expanded. People got this? The list is now expanded. It's going to be 4 elements in the list now. So it's adjusted the memory. It adjusted the memory. Okay, it goes to the next index, and it goes to the new index 4, and now the element is inserted. You will follow this. So this is how so we got this Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Surat. So I'm going to add element at respective index, right? So I'm going to add now I display this. Now the Delhi is inserted. The other positions are right justified. Right justified, right? In terms of memory, it adjusted to the right side. People got this? So that is your add index comma element method. I do not want to insert, I would like to replace the existing element. So which element you like to replace? The element as the index, whatever the specified index, replace that element with the new element. Got me? See, this method replaces the element at specified index. Okay, it replaces the element at the specified index. So I would like to replace the element at the index 1. I like to replace the element at the index 1 with a new value. So replace the city value at the index 1 with the value Noida. So this is what I need to do. Okay, so we know the index 1. So whatever there in the index 1, now that will be replaced with a new value. So we are going to do set index 1 and the new element. People got this? Set 1 comma Noida. Okay, and cities dot set 1 comma Noida, right? So it's in the instance method. So for which list, in which list you are going to do this, right? On which list you are going to perform this? On which list you are going to add the element? So the list name, method name. The first time we declare display the list with this element, then the next debug is going to be displayed after added the new element at the index inside the new element, the index 2. The next debug is we replace the element at the index 1. After replace the element at the index 1. So the third one replaces the element at the index 1. So Chennai has been replaced with Noida here. Got me? People clear with this? What is the use of the method set? So what is this? So this method is a kind of a method introduced in an upgrade, which we can process the element list with the help of element. So far we have seen we work with the list based on the index only, right? Based on the index, but this element will check whether whatever the element is specified is there in the list or not. Whatever element you pass as an argument to this method, okay, it will check in the list whether it's there or not. If it found, it returns true. So this method returns true if specified element is found in the list. Okay, it returns boolean, else it's going to return false. If the element is not found, it's going to return false. So my requirement is check if city Chennai exists in the list or not. Okay, exists in the list or not. So I'm going to use the if condition here. So what it's going to return basically boolean. So cities dot contains. So what element you are looking for? CHN. So what this method is going to return? The method is going to return a boolean value. I can do like this. Okay. So I'm checking here. Then display the boolean value. So we know what it's going to return. So what is going to return? It's going to return false because we replace that element, right? We replace that city name with a new city value. So this method should return false now. So the last flag is going to be false. Okay. Now we are going to check whether the city Surat is there or not, or say Pune is there or not. So let me check. How will you check? Cities dot contains. You pass whatever value they like to check. So the last one should return true. People got this? So normally you will use it in your programming. We will use it in an if conditions, right? If city is contains, if city is there or not, then do some process here, right? Do some process here. Else do this. So such type of logic you'll have, right? That we have if condition, and when city is found in that list, when account record is found in that list, when employee is found in that list, then do this. Okay. So such type of if conditions, in the if condition expressions, you will use this type of method, true or boolean type of method, right? That's one. So like this. So node is found. We got this. So the examples you can refer to understand this function contains. We have a size method, right? It returns, the method is going to return some value. It returns the total number of elements, list element. How many elements the list contains? So it returns the integer value. The size method is going to return integer value. So size method is an instance method of list, is going to return the number of element in the list. The number of element in the list. Okay. So here I'm just going to execute the size method, cities dot size. So what is going to return? It's going to return an integer value. We'll follow this. Total elements. Okay. Total city values, right? How many city values we have? That now that is there in the variable integer variable cnt. So got a 5 elements. There are 5 city values, right? So total number of elements in the list is going to be returned by the method called size. People got this? if the list contains any element, this returns, sorry, it does not contain element. If the list does not contain any element, then this is going to return true. This method is going to return true. Okay, this method is used to check whether list contains element or not, whether list contains elements or not. Okay, so isEmpty method is used to check whether list has element or not. So it's going to return Boolean value true. If the list is empty, it means does not contain any element. Else it's going to return false. Okay, got me? So what is going to return in our case? It's going to return Boolean cities dot is empty. That's it. Okay. So it's going to return true or false. Now it's going to return true, right? Because the list has value. The list is not empty. List has value. So it's going to return. Sorry, it's going to return false, right? Because list has element. The last one is false. Okay. Okay. How in the programming we'll check some like this, right? Dot is empty. Then do this. Logic will perform, right? Or else you will also use in this format. If it is not empty, then do this, right? Such type of scenarios you'll use. Again, the size, how will you use the size method in real time? You'll use cities dot size is greater than 0, then do this. Got me? If the list contains any element, it means what? The size will be more than 0, right? So if it is greater than 0, then do this. If it is empty, do this. If it is not empty, do this. If you will follow this, this is a way you will use list method in your programming. Okay, we are going to see more examples on this, but this is how you'll use this in your Apex programming to check whether the list contains elements and do some process. Okay, if the employee, if there are employees, then do something, right? If there are, the salaries are there, then do the something. If the employee is experienced employee, do something. Right? How to check whether the list contains element or not. You can go with size method. You can go with isEmpty method. Okay.
Ranjit, what is the difference between array and list? Which one is preferable in the program?
It's not preferable, ma. It depends upon your requirement. It's you'll use this later. Okay, you'll use this with the different scenario. You'll understand this. Basically, list is a expandable one. Array is not expandable. Okay, but there are some scenarios you will also use array. So you will decide when you will use list and say array depends upon your requirement. And if you like to define the size, fixed size, you do not want to expand, then you go with array. Right? I do not want to expand the size. Then list array is array doesn't have any method like these methods to check the contains and set. So all those limitations we have in the array. Array is not it doesn't have these methods. Okay, so you'd like to limit your process not to add more elements beyond the size, then go with array. Okay, so array is also array was a collection type. I mean a group of elements type. They introduced in the beginning. Then later they expanded, adding more feature group of elements type like collections, list, set, map, and all. Yes, list also should have similar elements. See, this is not the stage to decide which one is best. Okay, you just see more examples going forward. then you'll come to know when to use what. So the next method, we know the method to remove element one by one by using remove method by referring the index. But how to initialize my list? It means how to initialize my list, how to remove all the elements in the list. If a list contains 100 elements, I cannot go with the remove method by removing one element one by one. Right? If my list contains 100 elements, I cannot go with remove method, remove the element by removing the element, referring the index of the element one by one. Right? So I would like to go remove all the elements at once. There is a method called a clear method. It clears the, it initializes the list, right? It initializes the list. It means it removes all elements. It removes all the elements. Okay. So if you execute this, what will happen? Every element will be removed. Remove all the elements. So now if you get the size would be, if you get the size should be 0. You got this? Now it clears this and then get the size. Okay. So after cleared, okay, after initialize. So we ran the clear method, we executed the clear method. Now the list has 0 element, no elements in the list. Everything is removed, right? If you check isEmpty, if you perform isEmpty now, you'll get true here. If you perform isEmpty now, you'll get true here, right? And if you get the size, it will be 0 now. We will follow this. This is your clear method. So these are the list method we have. In addition to that, there are few methods are there that will be discussed later. Okay, these are the important methods you need to know to work with the list. Okay, and we have a constructor method as well. When you say constructor method, we know constructor is what? A method in the name of class, right? A constructor is a method in the name of class. So what was the constructor method we have seen so far? The constructor method that we have seen is to allocate a memory. So these are the constructor method, right? People got this? So constructor method is a constructor method basically. Look, Kiran, if you want to spend the time for the method doesn't give any scope for it, then will not complete the course. Okay, it's a platform which provides a lot of features to address all the business requirement for every business in a cases. Like if you are using a mobile, you're not using all the features in the mobile, right? But you spend time to understand all the features, everything in the mobile. It doesn't make any scope for you. It does make any scope for you, no, right? So similarly, we just concentrate the more important, spend more time, more examples towards the things that you need to understand. And in addition to that, more examples we are covering to understand more things in the platform. Okay, if you spend more time on all the methods, then definitely you will lose your scope. You will not reach. Very difficult to get all the things in a real-time point of view. Okay. Anyway, I try to cover all the examples, all the methods. There are few methods left over. That methods will be covered. Right. Constructor method is used to allocate a memory. List, data type, list name, new, list. I need not specify that part also here, but I would like to be open to you all. Okay, data type. So what is a constructor method? The constructor method we have with the argument also. Okay, see this constructor method without argument, which is used to allocate a memory. So there is a constructor method with argument where you will pass another list here, list 2. Suppose I am pass any other list here. Whatever the elements is there in the list, that will be copied to this list. That will be copied to the list. We'll create a new list with the element from the list 2. Suppose I have a list here. String of, right? We take our example. So this is a list I have. I'm going to create a new list from this string, new cities, new list of so as a constructor method, you are going to pass the cities here. Another list you are going to pass. If you display this list, what you will get? You will get exactly whatever the elements is there in the list cities. So now new cities will have all the elements from the cities. Okay, so this is a constructor method. So constructor method has two constructor method, one without argument, one with argument. The argument one copy one list to another list. That's all. Okay, and one more method here called instance method called add all. So we'll pass, you'll refer another list here. So right, your add method is to add one element at a time, but your add all will add multiple elements, more than one element. It means you are passing a list as an argument to the method. So it adds all elements of the list. To current list. People got this? It adds one element from the one list to another list. So that's your add all method. Suppose this is my list, and I have another list here. Like this. Okay, now I'm going to add all the elements from the cities to cities 2. Like this I can do. Right, so people, with this will wind up this session now. I will upload this document. I'll add some exercise for the list into the chatter tab in another 10 minutes. Okay, you can refer the exercise in the chatter tab itself. I'll upload this document in the chatter tab. We'll add some exercise in the chatter tab relevant to the topic list, whatever you covered today. Got me?
Sir, in last example, after cities to dot add all cities means in zeros place Madurai will become, and from ones place index 1 to Hyderabad.
Exactly. When you say add method, element will be added at the end only. So next to Madurai, your Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Surat will come. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I want you to display and check it. Okay. Just put a system debug statement and check it. I'm going to add more examples for your practice.
Okay, sir.
Right. See you all tomorrow. Take care.